Hi, everyone, and welcome to It Started with One Map Building a Complete Drainage Management System with GIS. My name is Alex Lang, a Solutions Engineer with ProWest and Associates. Sorry I can't give you this presentation live on a webinar, but with scheduling conflicts, we weren't able to get that done. But Jennifer Ward is on the call with us today, and she'll be able to answer any of your questions. Or if she can't, she'll relay those to me, and we'll get you those answers as soon as possible. So we're talking about drainage management systems today. And this is a project that's pretty close to me because the project actually started back when I was the GIS specialist for Renville County, where the drainage system that we're talking about today hails from. And worked on this project as a GIS specialist, and then as I transitioned over to ProWest, I still work on it with them in a partnership. So it's a project pretty close to me, and I hope you guys are gonna like it as well. So Renville County is a small rural county in Minnesota. Only 10 small cities instead of one larger city with smaller towns. So it's a little bit unique in that respect. But we have 150 plus unique drainage systems that we have to manage. You know, as you can see on the screen, approximately 770 miles of open ditch channel, which nearly 1,400 of drainage tile. So it's a large system that only 3 staff actually manage at the county. So turning to GIS to make this system more efficient and usable is very key. And so what Renville County decided to do was start with the basics. But what did they have to start with? So back in 2018, Renville Drainage had one web map that they used for ArcGIS Collector. They had a third-party system for tracking repairs and had no access to actually edit drainage information. At the time, there was only a layer for open drainage ditches and open drainage tile, and those were not able to actually be edited by drainage staff. They also were right in the midst of a process called redetermination, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But know that redetermination is a process for redetermining benefits of a drainage system for those a part of a given area. Now we start with any GIS project. Renville County started with their data. So we see that the drainage data, in this case, the open ditches and drainage tile, we're going to update the schema, add new attributes, and clean everything up so that we have a nice foundation in order to build that data off of. Because without data, we don't have GIS. So it's very key in order to, if you're going to improve the system, start with that good base. And so we start with those open ditches and tile lines, and we also improved the tile improvement layer, which is a layer that Renville County uses to track new tile lines or to update existing ones to better match what's on the ground on the system. And then we start getting into the new development. So a few years ago, there was a new law that came into place that says that every drainage system has to be inspected every 5 years. Now, with small staff, the easiest way to do that was to create a paper form, go out, fill in the various check boxes, and submit that to county commissioners at the end of each year. But because we were developing this really nice GIS system, Renville County decided to leverage ArcGIS Survey 123 to actually perform these given inspections. You can see all of the different aspects and different attributes that were collected during these inspections. But the key pieces to look at here is required and completed repairs. So for the first time, Renville County was now tracking repairs that they noted out in the fields while they were doing these inspections, actually noting these repairs before they were presented to them, and actually tracking them with a feature class, and tracking any existing repairs that had already happened with tabular data. all these compile into this one inspection form, which actually populates 5 separate GIS layers, those required and completed repairs. And we're also collecting line data to track buffer compliance, noxious weeds, and trees. So noxious weed and trees have to be removed. And buffer compliance is also another law that drainage systems have to adhere to, where 16.5 feet around every open ditch has to be seeded with grass. So we're tracking all of this through one inspection form. So the first time we're digitizing what normally would have been a paper system for this small staff. Integration. So we're going to integrate this GIS system. The best way to do that is through some sort of reporting system. We have we have this data on all these really great inspections, so it's really good to be able to integrate with forms, such that the county had an enterprise ArcGIS enterprise system that they could then bring that GIS data into a form via a nightly process. So whenever these inspections are completed, they can be printed off and given to various staff members to track what has been collected during a given inspection. And so since this is on a 5-year rotation, we've begun to create not only a record in the GIS system, but also a paper record that can be used for formal looks back at what was found during any given inspection day. Expansion. So we're going to expand this GIS system. We've already now utilized Survey 123, adding these new layers in there, but now we're also getting development on several sides of the coin. So new staff was hired with GIS experience, which now gives us the opportunity to give access, or Renville County can give access to drainage staff through web GIS systems. So utilizing that ArcGIS Enterprise portal and ArcGIS Online, we're able to actually publish data out and give them edit access to their existing data to add or update attribute or location based information. We also developed the very first new web GIS solution for Renville County, which was the drainage editor, taking all those data layers and packing it into a smart editor widget enabled tool so that they can edit the attribute and location data of their drainage systems. And then we can bring in new data because we have staff that is now being trained on GIS. We can bring in new layers and new assets that want to be tracked for Renville's drainage operations. A new layer was developed for county crossings, meaning where an open ditch is being crossed by, say, a road or a field crossing. We're marking those and what type of culvert is underneath those. Camera jobs, so the county is able to track all of the places where it has run a camera through tile lines. And tile line construction, whenever there's new data that's coming in, we want to track the year and some other attributes about who's performing those tile line constructions before we bring them into the formal tile line layer. Redeterminations. So redeterminations is a fairly complex process that actually is a multi-year endeavor for any drainage system in Minnesota. So these original benefit amounts. So the drainage ditch has a certain amount of benefit to its given farmers in this case. And we track those benefits via a dollar amount, or the benefit that they're getting from that system. Now, because these are law, once they're signed into law, they cannot be changed unless they go through a process of redetermination. And most of Renville County's drainage ditches had not been redetermined since the early 50s or late 40s. So this was a process that was well overdue, and a process that Renville County was excited to get going to get these numbers up to date. But through that process, more GIS data was able to be collected as part of the redetermination process. Not only can GIS help them help them as far as bringing in GIS layers to make sure these redetermination boundaries and the systems match up correctly, but we actually get some product from that from those redetermination layers. So through this, we were able to come up with another new web application that actually takes a look at those benefit amounts. So using the tax database, integrating with the tax database and creating an automatic download of that data with the parcels, we're able to actually display what benefit information is going on in all of the Renville County systems based on the tax data. And pulling this all into this web application, now the county staff is able to select a given drainage ditch and pull up all the information on the entire system, or they can select a given parcel and come up with the benefits that are on that particular landowner or a requirement of that given landowner. This is very, very good stuff because now it's not only something that the auditor, treasurer, or the assessors get to look at, but something that can be shared with the drainage staff or any staff that may get a question about benefit amounts. So when the public calls in, we're able to actually pull up this web application and get that information right away. Continuing on with this process of automation, we're also bringing in that benefit information from the redeterminations. So because of the redeterminations, they get to classify the land that that is part of the drainage system. And through that classification, we get that dollar amount, that new benefit amount per land class, and we get these beautiful land class files along with them. So using that land class data with a little bit of ArcGIS Pro and a little bit of publishing, we're able to pull that layer into a web-based system so that not only can we see benefit information based on actual GIS calculations, we can also get up-to-date information when parcel land splits happen. So this process will run, a parcel is split, and we get new benefit information that can be entered into the tax system rather than just viewed. So you can think of this as the other side of the coin to what we were just looking at, the benefit amounts before they actually get entered into the tax data. And then the big one that was a long time coming for Renville County, since they started to track repairs in the system due to those inspections. The thought was, well, let's take this the whole way. So Renville County decided to start tracking all repairs with the ArcGIS Enterprise system. So we've developed a repair maintenance tracking application that's able to bring together all the repair layers into one distinct application, so that when repairs are called in from the public or they're learned of through other ways, the Renville County drainage staff can come in, add the repairs, and start tracking the statuses across the board as these repairs are repaired and whether they're invoiced and brought into the system. And speaking of invoices, we weren't done with integration just yet. Because we want to track the repairs and track historical records, we have two integrations with these repairs. The first is Renville County's document management system. So any document that they would like to attach to any given repair along the way can be put into their management system, and through a unique identifier, able to link to the GIS points. So as soon as you click on one of those icons or given repairs within the web application, you can pull up a listing of all the documents that have been attached to that given area. And then the other integration is yet another report similar to the inspection reports, but this time we're doing a system wide. So an entire drainage system is being brought together into one report. So anything collected during an inspection or anything added via the web application tool is brought into one cumulative centralized report to list out and show all that's happening on a given system. These are great summary documents that can be referred to by county staff or county commissioners. So I know I went through everything very quick, but let's recap exactly everything that was done over this period for Renville drainage. We updated data schemas. We updated their mobile capabilities. We updated and added new ditch inspection forms via Survey 123, new web applications to better track and manage existing data as well as add new data. We have new application to better look at ditch benefit information, as well as creating new ditch benefit information and entering into the system utilizing those land classification files. And then finally, it sits all together with a very integrated application for repair maintenance tracking to see all of those given attached to documents, bring together all the repairs into one particular report. Really, when it comes down to it, there isn't a workflow that Renville County Drainage has put together that doesn't touch GIS now. And it's proving that GIS can be really great at making your systems efficient, but also improving operations across the board. This is something where the Renville County Drainage is extremely thankful for GIS and are continually thinking of new ways to add new applications or new data into their overall system. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening about it, and certainly Renville is very happy to bring that to you. So special thanks for them for allowing me to talk about this. And hope everybody has a great rest of your conference. And back to you, Jen.